Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai 276. I think it's called A Sorrowful Blow. As you can probably tell, I have a bit of a sore throat, and basically I'm in the process of moving out towards London now. So my reviews might be a little bit late. Everything's a bit hectic at the moment. I mean, like it's just crazy. I'm trying to find a place to live, trying to figure out how close it's going to be to my workplace and all that kind of thing. And I'm also like, this new job is like a completely different thing to anything I've ever been a part of. So it's one of those things where it's just going to be a bit hectic. But yeah, so my my review to Nanatsu no Taizai, this one's a bit off the cuff. I've not really written up a script for it. I've just literally got the chapter open in front of me, and I'm going to kind of glance at it, remember what the page is about, and then talk to you about it, because I couldn't be bothered to really write up a script for it, but I'm pretty sure I'm comfortable with what I'm going to talk about anyway. So the chapter really starts off with Derry talking to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth she's still shook. This is the only chance we've really seen her being shook at the fact that Mile was in fact Esterossa, and she doesn't know what she's supposed to do, because she realizes that going to the next page, that the commandments have kind of taken a hold of Esterossa, and they're kind of amplifying all his negative feelings, his despair, his kind of guilt, his loss, turning all of this into rage. And she's really like afraid of what to do about Mile, because she doesn't want to attempt to kill him, because he's just come back into their lives, but he is like wrecking all of them at the moment. He did almost just kill Elizabeth, so she doesn't quite know what to do to save his heart from all of this stuff. So I thought Derry here had a really mature response, and was kind of really full of honor, because Elizabeth realizes that Derry probably wouldn't want anything to do with this anyway, because Mile was actually the guy who killed Monspeed. But I think Derry here was, like I said, very mature about all of this, because she realizes that it wasn't really Mile who killed Monspeed. It was more Esterossa, and Esterossa was a being in and of himself. He was just crazy anyway. He wasn't really Mile, so it's not really Mile's fault in that sense. So Derry here is just like, we're going to save Miles' ass just like you saved us 3,000 years ago. And I really like that, and I would prefer to just talk about Derry and Elizabeth, but the chapter then goes to Sariel and Tarmiel talking to Mile, and they're just like, oh, we prefer to say that like we're happy to see you, but you know, we're kind of standing against you at this point. And they're also confused as to why they didn't realize Mile was Mile until Galtha's curse had come undone. And you know, Galtha, I think, has already explained it. Did he explain it? I think he did. So they should be aware of why they couldn't remember him. But this also explains to them why their light magic wasn't really killing him or anything like that. And Miles just stood there, and he's like, why are you two stood in front of me? Why are you blocking me? And I was like, ooh, why are you standing in my way? And he's just there. I was like, ooh, this guy, like, Mile is just like, he's on the revenge mission, and he doesn't give a zero shits about whether the goddesses are stood in front of him, whether it's humans, whether it be his own parents. Probably he just go straight through them just to try and kill Galtha, to kill the demons, to kill anyone who was at fault for him turning into Esterossa. He'd even go and try and kill Meliodas for taking Elizabeth away from him and being part of the demon clan, which was the clan that Galtha was a part of, and also turned him into Esterossa. But he's also concerned about why Sariel and Tarmiel are protecting Galtha and King, two individuals who are standing against him, but one of them is a commandment. And he's just like, why are you stopping me from killing one of the demonic filth, you know? So like, because the goddesses were very kind of like Nazi-ish, in the sense that ethnic cleansing was kind of their way, and you can't really just blame that on the goddesses. The demons were exactly the same. Derry even mentions it, talking about how the demons were taught that the goddesses deserve to just be cleansed. So and obviously Sariel and Tarmiel are just there shook, and Tarmiel's just there, he's sweating all the way through this chapter, because he's the one that seems to be more concerned. Sariel seems to have more control over himself, but Tarmiel is in kind of like emotional distress. He just can't hack the fact that Mile is back, and he really wants to try and help him, but he doesn't quite know what to do, and he's really distraught, and he's really conflicted, which is why the end of the chapter is the end of the chapter. So he's there telling Mile, like, don't worry, you can reclaim the lost time, just slowly regain yourself, just stop doing what you're doing. And this obviously pisses Mile off. He's like, how could I possibly regain all those years I lost? How could I reclaim the lives of the goddesses I took? Stuff like that. And they're trying to tell Mile, like, you know, you're not in the right frame of mind, and basically, like, you need to get rid of the commandments because of how they're amplifying all this negativity within you. And it's here that was really unique to hear Miles' kind of thoughts, because he knows he has the commandments within him, but he was Esterossa when he took in the commandments, so he wasn't in the right frame of mind there either. But now that he's Mael, he says that now that his grace is gone, he views these commandments, the 3 commandments within him, as kind of his last hope. And I was like, ooh, this is new for Mael, because Mael has kind of been like, everything demonic is disgusting, it's evil, it's dark, get that away from me. But now that he's lost his grace, he sees the commandments as kind of like his only form of power, his only kind of his only form of standing above everyone else, like Sariel and Tarmiel. So that's where his hope lies, within the commandments. So he's kind of accepted that the commandments are within him, and he's willing to use them freely. And then we see him prepared to like take down Sariel and Tarmiel with this giant watermelon-looking thing. So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then we go back to Dedi Edi and Elizabeth, and like I said, Dedi Edi just showed how mature she was this chapter. She realizes that Mael wasn't really the one who killed Monspeed, but she also realizes that in reality, both Monspeed and Dedi Edi herself died 3,000 years ago when they assumed their Endura forms, and it was really Elizabeth and Meliodas who saved them. So she feels like she owes Elizabeth one for really saving them from that fate. And she, like I said before, she discusses kind of like how the demons were taught and how the commandments were taught that just killing goddesses and people of the other clans was just healthy. It didn't matter because they were lesser than you, all that type of stuff. It was ethnic cleansing to a T, and they just didn't really care about anyone else, and they believed it was the right thing to do. And even after Elizabeth saved them, she continued to do that just because she was a commandment, and that's what was expected of her. But and she even despised, she goes on to say, Meliodas for defecting to the god, not really defecting to the goddesses, but defecting with Elizabeth away from the war. And she really hated him. She hated the goddesses for doing that to him. And then she realizes here that she was the more foolish of everyone, because what Meliodas did was probably the correct thing to do, and she didn't. She kind of regrets that she didn't realize it sooner. And then it was this weird part where she kind of reflects on what Elizabeth said to her about Monspeed. Like, it's not about how he felt about you, it's about how you felt about him. And she says here, like, Dedi Edi talks about Monspeed, she's like, he was always by my side, my precious partner, my other half, and all I wanted him to do was live. So I'm not sure if now, like, she's realized now that she loved him in return and she didn't realize it while he was alive. I think that might be the case. I think she realizes at this point in time that she actually did have love, or some form of love. I think she did, like, romantically love him, and she just didn't realize until now. So we then go to Dedi Edi saying that she's going to put a stop to this meaningless war. So she's going to stop it, Galtha like 3.0, 2.0, and she's going to stop Mael as the first step towards stopping this holy war. So Elizabeth obviously is just like, she's hyped, she's like, yeah, let's do this. And but she doesn't realize how are you going to stop someone like Mael? You got to get rid of his commandments. How do you get rid of his commandments? So this is where Dedi Edi, like, I was like, you are a boss, like, excellent idea. So what she does is, while Mael is fighting Sariel and Tarmiel, and you actually see Tarmiel here wielding this light sword in one of the panels. I thought that was really cool. I mean, like, he just made a sword out of light, and he's like, yeah, Excalibur, let's go. I was like, this is pretty cool. It wasn't called Excalibur, but it just, and we see King struggling to really keep up, mostly because the goddess is actually stronger than he is, but also because he's been injured. And Mael said something about that injury, that, the injury that he shot through, or the attack that he shot through King's shoulder. He said something like it would continue to kind of get worse, just because it was designed to, like, hurt demons or something like that. I can't remember. So King's he's still getting crashed. He holds his shoulder, and Galtha's really concerned. He's thinking in his head about, like, the princess. He's like, Nadia, what am I supposed to do? My friends are getting their asses whooped. And then that's when Dedi Edi lands behind him, and she's like, read my thoughts and broadcast them to everyone apart from Mael, everyone here. So he does that and realizes what she wants everyone to do, like, in terms of working together. So he searchlights her, he broadcasts all the information to Sariel, Tarmiel, and King. And this is where Mael has a dark sword in his left hand and a light sword in his right hand, and he's gonna go and he's gonna decimate Galtha. But here we have King saving Galtha's ass once again with Bumblebee oh, this pisses off Mael, so he kind of deflects his attention to King once again. So the strategy was that King was to garner the attention of Mael, and when this happens, both Sariel and Tarmiel would use all their power not to attack but to restrain Mael, which is something well within their capabilities. So there's Tornado on one arm, there's Ocean on one arm, and they're both in the form of like these giant vortexes, and he's just there restrained, kind of in a crucifix position kind of thing. And obviously Sariel doesn't like this too much, but he seems to he's happy to do it if it's going to stop Mael. Tarmiel seems to be the same, but he's sweating and he seems really, really conflicted. So in this situation, we then have Derriere pulling out all the stops, and she just kicks the living shit out of Mael. She just lands hit after hit in her combo star, and obviously that amplifies each and every attack. And her plan is to keep pounding away at Mael until he's on the verge of death. And while this is happening, and Mangastream had another pronoun issue here. I've mentioned it before, but they say that Galtha will use the opening that Derriere creates to learn how to recover commandments by reading my mind. But this is Derriere's thoughts. These are Derriere's thoughts. So when it says reading my mind, I thought it was Derriere saying that Galtha would retrieve the spell to take away commandments in Derriere's mind. But that's not it. That's not it at all. What he was supposed to be doing, and what he should have said, is he was reading the mind of Mael, so reading his mind, and not Derriere's. So yeah, Derriere knows that Mael isn't going to give up his commandments, because he's kind of he's aware that they're his last hope in terms of fighting off people and just having that amount of power. So she's there kicking the shit out of him. Galtha's there going through his memories, remembering when Zeldris taught Esteros actually how to remove someone's commandments. And you see like Mael's face all bloodied up, he's getting his ass whooped, and you see Tarmiel once again really conflicted, and he's just there like hanging a little bit longer. Mael, we're doing this all to save you. And the Galth is just there retrieving all these memories, and this is where Mael plays the freaking an awesome card on Tarmiel. He's just there looking at Tarmiel getting his ass kicked, and he just says, why is it always me that's being targeted this way? This completely breaks Tarmiel's spirit. He can't see his brother getting wrecked like this, and he instantly dissolves his ocean around Mael's right arm. And using this opportunity, Mael then shoots a freaking bolt of light straight through Derriere, supposedly hitting her last remaining heart. And he just stands there with Tornado on his left arm, saying, "Now receive mercy from the angel of death." And that's how the chapter ends. Derriere seemingly dead, and the plan kind of failing. But Galtha now knows how to take away commandments, so not really. It's a worthy exchange almost, because Derriere was kind of prepared for this. But it's a bit sad to see that Derriere had finally kind of confessed her love, more or less, for Monspeet. And she dies the same chapter. It's almost like the same way Monspeet died, in the sense that it was the fault of one of her teammates, and because she was really the cause of Monspeet's death, and now Tarmiel is the cause of Derriere's death. But I really hope she's not dead, but I think that's the way it's gonna go. But the reality of the situation is that Galtha now knows how to take away commandments from an individual, so from Mael. But will he be able to use this in time? Will Mael give him enough time to use this? Will Hawk, Meliodas, and no, not Hawk, will Wild, Meliodas, and Barn come back? Will Galtha team up with them to take away the commandments from Mael? If it was Galtha and Barn versus Mael now, I think that would be a very, very well written and well planned out way to get rid of Mael and to remove the commandments from him. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this off the cuff kind of a review if you prefer this format or not. And I'll see you guys whenever the next chapter of whatever comes out. Probably One Piece tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then.